thought, you know, the result was probably a fair reflection of where the tour is, and two quality sides who really went hard at each other tonight.
It's been a fantastic three-match series. Both teams have played their hearts out, and you know, it's come down to the wire, and we've ended up with a hand on the trophy each, which is a little bit like kissing your sister. There's not a lot in it for anybody, but at the same time, I think it's been a wonderful advertisement for rugby, the rugby that was played by both sides.
With so much to pick apart from the series, we can turn to rugby commentator Eykyn. Now, Ali, just a little over 3 weeks ago, not too many pundits would have thought that England or the Lions, the British and Irish Lions, would be able to contest against the All Blacks, that it would be a clean sweep, 3-0 against them. But in the end, they got one hand on the trophy. How would you sum up their achievement over there?
I think their achievement is massive because, as you said, nobody really gave them a chance. I think the problem that they faced was trying to gel together in this very short space of time, try to get their systems in place, try to get that understanding that is so crucial to a successful rugby team. The All Blacks have played together for so long and been through so many battles together that they almost second guess what each other are up to. So I think this is a phenomenal achievement from the British and Irish Lions. I don't think anybody really expected them to get that close, let alone actually make it genuinely competitive. So to come away with a draw, I think as the dust settles, it will feel more like a victory to the British and Irish Lions than it will for the New Zealanders. I think the Kiwis were really expecting to win this with something to spare.
And more incredible still was the fact that they only led for a total of 3 minutes over the course of those 3 tests. So does that mean that basically they were able to snatch away half of that trophy from the jaws of defeat?
Well, they were second best comfortably in the opening test match, and I think they went away recognising there was plenty still to do. In the second test match, they got very lucky in some regards in that Sonny Bill Williams went off the field with a red card, and that was the turning point really for the Lions, because not only were they able to capitalise on the extra man, but I think they got a real sense of belief that it was possible, that the miracle, if you like, was on. It was really genuinely an opportunity for them. And some of the rugby they played was sensational. I mean, they scored some fabulous tries on this trip. The Sean O'Brien try in the opening test match will probably go down as one of the greatest ever Lions tries. So they've played some great rugby. They've come up with a number of really useful youngsters who've shone through, the likes of Maro Itoje, and I think they can be very, very proud with what they've achieved.
Now, New Zealand will also look at a few missed opportunities themselves. You talked about a red card there in the second test match as well as during the third match. Now, do you think that Steve Hansen's going to have quite a headache, especially when it comes to kicking at goal?
That is the problem that they've had, and for all Beauden Barrett's brilliance at fly half for New Zealand, his goal kicking is not reliable, not in the way that Owen Farrell's is, that Johnny Sexton's is, that Lee Halfpenny's is. All of those three could have kicked goals for the British and Irish Lions, and they were very, very consistent. The kind of players you can rely upon to notch 3 points here or there. Ultimately, it's very harsh to single out one man, but generally, the very, very best test teams in the world have a world-class goal kicker, and at the moment, they don't have that. And of course, it's let them down against the Lions at the very highest level. I don't know what will happen about that in the future. Barrett is a wonderful number 10, a brilliant, brilliant player. Maybe his brother, Geordie, who played at fullback on Saturday, maybe he can fill that void.
Now, Ali, very quickly, talking about that penalty with 2 minutes left to go in that final test, something that New Zealanders no doubt will be talking about for the next 12 years. What do you make of that?
I think they were harshly done by. I felt it was a penalty. I felt that Ken Owens had actively gone to seek out the ball, to play the ball. For a moment, he caught it, and the penalty had been awarded, and then the referee was talked out of it. I think the All Blacks have reason to be a little bit concerned about that, and I think the referee ultimately will look back on it and go, I probably got that wrong.
Now, very quickly as well, a lot of people were saying, or many pundits were saying, that this was sort of the unofficial pre-interview for Warren Gatland for that New Zealand role a few years down the road from now. What do you make of all of that? Do you think that he really won over some of his critics?
Unquestionably. And of course, we saw, didn't we, in the final press conference, he arrived at the press conference wearing a clown's nose because he'd been depicted that way by the New Zealand press. This was a very personal tour for Warren Gatland. He was desperate to show the credentials that he has and the ability that he has as a coach, because he's achieved so much, but almost all of it has been in the Northern Hemisphere. And I think there was a degree of respect that he was desperate to earn from his own countrymen. And unquestionably, he's done that, and he's put himself in the frame to be the next All Blacks coach, no doubt.
Great. Well, Ali, thank you very much for joining us.